All right, super straightforward haircut here. We're gonna start off. I like to take my comb, create my baseline, work around the head by creating this length, following the natural shape of the head. This is gonna set in the shape of the haircut for everything I do from here forward, saving me tons of time so he can move on with his day looking good. Oftentimes I'll end up doing it twice just to make sure it connects to that top length, which I'm going to go back and cut anyway, but I find this to be a time saver. After knocking that down, it's just guards. I'm going to take my 3 open, using the corner of my blade angled out and away from the head, lifting up to, but not into, that previous guide that I created. That just makes graduation straight away. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go back and blend. We're done. Following the natural shape of the head, just working my way around efficiently. Done. So the top is already connected to the sides. That's it. I'll slow it down. I'm peeling out and away from the head. Each scoop lifts out and away so as to create that graduation and not just push in a line that I'm later going to have to go out and blend. Same deal. I'm going to take my 1.5 open with the corner of my blade angled out and away from his head, cutting up to, but not into, that previously cut length. I think the reality is this works pretty well because I've done it several thousand times. You should probably expect to go over this 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times to get it right until this becomes habit for you. Paying attention to the direction the hair's growing in here, I have to turn my blade. I'm going against the grain with each stroke. So keep in mind, I can't just blindly scoop up across the entire head. I've found this line that I'm visualizing, and I'm being mindful to make sure I'm cutting against the grain along that entire line. I can't just blindly go up and down. So you see my wrist turning, following the direction his hair is growing in. I've got my 1 open, and I'm just going to flick up to, but not past, that previously cut length. Doing the same thing, working around and down the head. Now, as I come up, I see a little heaviness I'm not liking. I'm visualizing my line here, but you see that little darkness? A little maneuver I can use to flick that out. So I hold the blade perpendicular to the head and just kind of scoop that up. I hear it cutting. It's not taking off a lot, but it really knocks that weight down. Big shout out to my Stylecraft Echo blade. I really find it helpful to hear it cutting the hair. You see me pulling out and away from the head, just making sure I create graduation with every single scoop, so as never to put in a hard line that I'm going to have to go back and blend out, saving me so much time so he doesn't have to wait forever in my chair and he can move on with his day. You can see exactly what I'm talking about with hair direction right here, where his hair is growing almost backwards, and I have to use the corner of my blade. I've got to ensure that I'm going against the grain. I can't go with the grain in one area, against the grain in the other, and expect it to be straight. All right, that's the final length. I like that, but I'm going to go ahead and take my no guard open, and I'm just going to flick out along the perimeter here. When I go to edge him up, you're not going to get a clean, crisp line with long hair. So just at the perimeter, I've got him tapered down. And right now I'm using my no guard open, just tapering down any longer length at the perimeter of the head. I'm just going along the edges. That's it. You see how I'm using the corner of my blade? I'm not cutting into the hair. This is seriously just the perimeter of the haircut getting knocked down a little bit. So when I go ahead and take my trimmer, I'm going to punch in my line, get a solid sideburn there, taking the corner of my blade, bringing it up to cut against the grain and create that little C shape. And I want to go against the direction the hair is growing in. So I'm going to pull his ear down and just scoop behind the ear going against the grain. Sometimes you have to come at it a few different directions to make sure you got it straight. You're going against the grain here, but you see the ultimate shape I'm trying to put in here. While you're here, knock out any ear hair. Just, give a professional service. Don't skip over little stuff like that. And then I'm going to punch in my line right here. Very rarely do I punch in a line, but here I want a hard line. This is what gives him that barbershop style, clean, crisp cut. Doing the exact same thing on the other side. Taking my corner of my blade, scooping up. And once I've set in that shape, I can clear away any bulk, just pulling it down. And then again, I really want to focus on going against the grain. Bringing my blade up. Never bring this too high. And while I'm here, just knock any ear hair down. Because that's not something that's easy to do to yourself. So, same deal. Punch in my line. I like to utilize my finger as kind of an anchor. I'll set that down. That stabilizes me. And I push down and drag that away. Then I'll just go ahead and flick up into that length that I already set with my half guard. We're like instantly blended here. It's fine. All right, I'm going to do things different than you've probably seen it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this all shear over comb. I'm going to identify kind of the length I want to end with. And I'm just going to start on one side, working front to back. Moving over to that middle section, I see my previously cut length here. Anything sticking past that, I just chop off. I like to switch sides rather than, do anything different with my fingers. I'm just going to come across the same way I was doing with front to back sections, knocking that length down. This isn't precision cutting. I'm not wetting it. I'm not taking clean sections. Everything I do is just blending. It's fast. The end result looks great. And it tends to cut it in a way that he can style super easy at home. I don't need to mat him down with a bunch of products to achieve the right look. He can just wake up, push his hair over, and it blends. Just moving down the side of the head, continuing this process of just front to back, front to back. I typically run through it a little quicker, but I'm trying to show it off on camera, I guess, so you can see what's happening.
I'll take a picture of it just in case.
A big cross check that you just saw me do is I'll comb it straight down. So anything that's kind of sticking out of line that doesn't need to be there, no matter which way the wind blows, I mean, it's going to look all right. I'm going to comb it over. I'm going to do the exact same thing with these thinning shears. I'm just going to really aggressively shear over comb this with the thinning shears. That'll knock down any bulk, and it kind of leaves the ends ragged, like almost like it achieves this Velcro effect where when he pushes it, it's just going to lay into itself. It's just going to look really clean and easy with minimal effort on his end when he styles it. And it's quick as hell for me to do. Just kind of as a cross check, I'm going to go over that previously cut section and hit it with these thinning shears. Anything sticking out I can knock down with these. And while I've got these in my hand, I can just work around the head and knock out any weight that I see that was left over in that transition. You see how quickly that just knocks it down. Not really aiming to take any length off. I'm really just seeing anything that's sticking out that's not really blending with the rest. Now, just to shape this, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of freehand that little bit of a cowlick we're looking at. I don't want to put a hole in his haircut, but I want to take out anything that's kind of wispy, that doesn't really lay down the way we want it to. Anything that's sticking out. This is going to be the first thing he notices when his hair grows out, that he's got this little thing sticking up. And so I just want him to have kind of a clean finish when he looks in the mirror. I'm not doing anything extreme. I'm just kind of knocking it down. All right, doing the brows, we're going to take the comb, bring it down. Remember, your comb is like a 1, but you don't want to scare anybody by putting like a clipper directly on their face. Don't do anything crazy. He doesn't need to look overly manicured. We're just going to pop out any hairs that are sticking out. Sometimes if you see any little flyaways, it's cool to knock those down, but we don't want to overly shape his eyebrows. That's not what he's probably into. All right, we set in the edge with the trimmer, but I'm going to come back and just refine that line with my straight razor. I'm not changing the shape of his head. I'm not pushing it back. It's just kind of an accent, just so he has that fresh, clean, sharp line. That's all that is.